Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do begin, let us give a brief little review. In the last part, quite a number of things have happened. We had Deku, who, with his exposure to red kryptonite, he had a influx of emotion. Now, Deku is still mad that Lex cloned a kryptonian. However, his emotions, yeah, they went through a bit of a phase. And right now so is he, and Kara. Now, after Kara was exposed, the two started to talk a bit more. Yeah, okay, let's just relax for right now. They can still clear out crime if anything does happen. They'll just be about, what, a millisecond late? Who cares? Now, these two, they started to do that. However, a week passed by, and these two are still under the effects of the red kryptonite. Right now, though, they're a lot more brutal. They're a lot more forward with violence. They're angrier. Lex Luthor was put in the hospital by these two. Right now, Lex is hanging on for dear life. And that does say quite a lot. Right now, his Superboy or Superman clone, who cares? They'll deal with that later. Right now, his clone is out of commission. And right now, Lex, he's out of commission as well. Deku, he also almost murdered the Joker when he decided that they're going to expand their reach from Metropolis to Gotham. Gotham is one of the most crime-ridden cities on Earth. And right now, crime, it takes a fucking nosedive. Now, people are scared in Gotham. Right now, the Kryptonian, yeah, he's here. Superman's in town, and he is not here to play nice. The Joker, he's in Arkham, and right now, he's staying there for a reason. If he walks through those gates with the intent to kill, he is having his brain boiled in his skull. Now, right now, there actually is Batman. Batman, he's happy for the help. However, he's also worried. Deville and Kara, they're pushing things. He can tell that Deville, he's full of rage. He can tell that his emotions, they're going to change again. And right now, he doesn't want them to swap to murder. Now, we do actually have one for Deku. He does leave Gotham. And right now, whenever he does go to fly to the Kent family farm, he does go to check up on them. Now, Deku, he would come to land. And right after going to walk inside, he does go try and ask them exactly if they've been doing okay. And right now, there actually is Martha, who does go to start pouring cups of tea. And she actually would ask Duville if he would like any. To which he would talk about how he would actually like a cup. Right now, what he's going to be doing is staying here for a second, and then he's going to figure something out. Right now, he's confused about what to do. He needs to figure this out. It's just annoying him more. Now, the two do see Deku. And right now, they're a bit confused, trying to ask him if he's okay. To which Deku, he was going to say, after going to chug down his cup of tea, that he's fine, as the steam does start to pour from his mouth. Right now, he's going to take a step outside. He just needs a second. Now, Deku go to land and walk over to the barn. And right now, there actually is Kara, who, whenever she saw Duville walking towards the barn, she was kind of confused. And right now, there actually is, whenever she does, go to walk over. As whenever Deku, he's staying there in the barn, staring at his hands, he's throwing jabs at the open air. And right now, as you can tell at Deku, even then, he is still holding back. The wind pressure, she can feel it expanding and flexing the boards. They are trying to stay on. The nails are holding him in. But if he tries to increase pressure, he might start to knock the wood loose. This thing's old and probably needs to be rebuilt. Now, Deku will go to express, as he does say. He can actually hear her. Besides, Everything just feels too much at the moment. The Kents, he doesn't get it. Right now, he just feels mad. Deku turning. And right now, Kara, she does look okay. Hmm. What? What do you want? Hmm? I came here to talk. Talk, then, I guess. Listen, I just need a second to myself. Talk. Now, Kara would try to explain. Metropolis has been doing good. However, right now, though, people, they still commit crime. Why the hell would you even commit a crime when the person who's going to stop you can't be harmed and is indestructible? And they move way faster than you. Why would they even try to do any crime here? It's fucking Metropolis. Now, Deku could comment. He's still annoyed by that. It even happens in a few other places. Like, well, West City. Or, well, what was it called? Not West City. Coast City? Yeah. People do crime and people, they still try and do shit on the water. Literally, there's Aquaman. What are you gonna do? Now, Deku finds it annoying. The only real thing they should have to worry about is the people with superpowers. But no, they're having to face actual regular humans. He doesn't understand. Why do they have this much disdain for their own people? For their own planet? Everything they do, it just... Now, Deku does go off a bit. And right now, Kara, yeah. She actually is somewhat annoyed as well. The two are both going through this kryptonite exposure. And right now, with Deku being a bit more on the unstable side, he does have a few ideas. The next person he encounters, he's going to kill. The next person he fights, he is going to be angry at. And right now, there actually is one where he just going to ask Kara. Him stepping towards her, and right now going directly in front of her. As he's going to ask her, would she be willing to help him take over? And she just stared at him surprised for a second. As Deku started to explain, he wants to temporarily take over Earth. Right now, with Clark indisposed and this thing running around, the Abomination and Lex, they're a problem. However, there is the Justice League. Right now, he's run the numbers in his own head. He's fairly certain that Batman, he knows something is going on with them. He might know why they're getting angrier. And Kara would go to express, she is not getting angrier. As Deku does explain, she is getting angrier. Do not try to lie to him. He can tell plain as day. Besides, she is practically yelling at him. Now, Kara and Deku, their eyes both glow red. And right now while the two do stare each other down, the mist does come out of both of their mouths. Now, the two do stare each other down. And right now, yeah. Their personalities, they do take another shift. Now, there actually was where Martha Kent, she saw that the two, they were talking out in the barn. And she heard voices. And then she didn't hear them anymore. Now, there actually was back in the barn. Or whenever Ma Kent, she decided to go out and see what was going on, there was where she walked in and turned. And right now there actually was the fact that Deku and Supergirl, they were both standing there, and they actually just somewhat going to turn and look towards her. As right now, Martha Kent would see both the two, who right now, they look like they were in the middle of something. Now, Martha Kent was going to turn. And right now, after Deku and Kara do both going to somewhat jump up, the group shouted about how it wasn't what she thought. Now, Martha Kent, yeah, she is caught off guard by this. The two were making out in the barn. Okay, so that's a thing. Now, whenever the two tried to come in and explain what's going on, there was where Martha Kent, she didn't want to hear it. And right now, Paul Kent, yeah, he's a bit surprised by what's going on. However, that wasn't even the least surprising thing about it. Right now, the two, they were still somewhat getting angry and yelling at each other. However, they also seemed to be very. Oh, what's the right word? It's hard to say it or think about it, but I mean, the two, they're highly emotional. I mean, yeah, they're teenagers. They had to deal with Clark, but this is a little different. Now, right now, Deku and Kara, they're screaming at each other. And after Kara, she does somewhat go to press Deku a bit, there is where Deku, he actually had to grab onto her. And right now, after the two do go rocketing through a wall, there is where they begin a bit of a fight. Now, right now, these two try to stay out of it. For some reason, the teenagers are. What is this? Rebellion? I mean, there's no real way to classify this. Now, while these two are having a bit of violence happen, there actually is Batman, who right now, after he does go to land the Batwing, he would try to come to these two. Right now, he needs to make sure to take them down. And right now, as the two are both fighting, there is where Batman, he actually would come to see these two. And right now, there actually is where Kara, she's trying to choke out Duville. And right now, Deku, after he does actually go to grab his hand up and directly at her hair, he is going to pull her in and smash her across the head with his own forehead. Now, Kara, after the two do get back up, they do go to rush towards each other. And right now, after the two do go to grab onto each other, they do so go to freeze and then turn. Batman does go to bring up the kryptonite. And right now, there actually is one for Kara and Deku. They do both go floating upwards into the air and backing away from each other. Now, Kara, she actually is a bit alarmed. Why does he have that? Meanwhile, Deku, he actually stares at Kara. The way she looks, something inside of him is just, it's feeling weird. And then there actually is Kara. While Deku is staring at her, she just goes to stare back at him. And it's the exact same thought. Something's happening inside their heads. They're having some sort of reaction. This doesn't feel normal. She hates this guy. But why is he so... Now, Batman is trying to explain. Right now, the two are under the effects of red kryptonite. He's here to help them. Just let him expose them, and they'll be normal again. Now, Deku is going to float backwards. And right now, there actually is Kara, who could actually look directly at Batman as her eyes start to glow. And Deku, whenever Batman, he does go to get ready to throw it, he does go to blast the kryptonite directly out of the air, breaking it into atoms. Now, Deku, after he fired his heat vision, he stared directly at Batman and told him, "Do not try to stop them. They'll take over for just a bit of time, till Cal comes back. He just has to let them take out people. Take out the bad guys. Put down the ones who are super. Let them do this." Now, Batman does not like this. And right after Kara and Deku do go flying next to each other, they do go rocketing away. And Batman, yeah, he's gonna need the League on this. This doesn't look good. Now, there actually is where these two, they go somewhere no one on Earth should be able to follow them. They go somewhere that no one on Earth should be capable of accessing, except for them. Now, these two would actually arrive at the Fortress of Solitude. And right now, after they do make their way inside, there is quite a lot that does happen. Right now, there is the fact that they need to check on Clark, Kal-El. Meanwhile, Batman, he radios into the Young Justice team. And right now, Young Justice and Teen Titans, they're all put on high alert. Every superhero hears about what's going on. They have red kryptonite exposed kryptonians somewhere on Earth. The most dangerous kind. And yeah, everybody, they're going to try and steer way clear of that. Meanwhile, others, they know they need to intervene. And for them, that does kind of suck. Now, the two eventually do arrive back at the hall. The hall, Jesus. The Fortress of Solitude. I keep calling this thing the fucking Fortress of... Not, now I say it right. I keep calling the Fortress of Solitude the Hall of Justice because I keep thinking of that old-ass cartoon. It's so annoying. Anyways, rant aside, right now these two stand here in the fortress, and they're trying to make plans. They've been exposed to something. It's been made quite clear right now. But whatever it is, they like it. I mean, this feeling they have, they feel good. I mean, better even. Now, the two do start to talk. And right after Deku does start to list his own side effects, and Kara's going to try and list her own as well, the two do still stare at each other. They still have that look in their eye. And right now, yeah. They're not too sure about whether it's whatever's affecting them, but they do like the other person here. At least it feels that way. I mean, the two ended up making out in that barn, if you can call what that was, making out. But hey, yeah, maybe they'll get through this. Maybe it might just run its way through their system, if they're lucky. Yeah, maybe not. No. Deku's trying to talk about it. He thinks he might know what it is, but he can't confirm it, because testing it on him was risky. But maybe they can find something here. Something that can help them. But if they do stop this effect, I mean, what will happen? Now, Deku and Kara do stare at each other. And right after Deku is going to bring his hand out, Kara will go to reach her hand out as well. And the two, they actually go to pull each other in this time. Maybe slow. Now, the two both stand there. And right now there is where the Eradicator, or no, the Eradicator, I think that's right. It does go starts talking. And right now the two are going to turn and see the thing that is here. And the Eradicator does start to talk about it. It checked up on Superman. Superman, Kal-El, his vitals will be returning to normal shortly. And there is a chance he may wake up very soon. Now, Kara is actually going to turn and start walking that direction. And Deku, after he does go to bring his hand up with her hand, there is where he does go to actually grab onto Kara. And Kara is actually going to stop and turn back towards him. As Deku does tell her, Cal still needs rest. They shouldn't disturb him. Now, she will go to stare back at Deku. And right after going to bring her other hand out towards him, the two actually go to pull each other in. This feels different. Oh, what is this? No. This... They feel normal, though. I mean, is this not normal? What's going on here? Now, the Eradicator would actually try and give them some advice. Right now they've been exposed to red kryptonite. It can cause a multitude of effects. And the effects, they're mind-altering. Some of them, yeah, they could be physical. But right now, these two, they need to have at least proper re-exposure to green in order to go back to normal. Now, Deku does tell the Eradicator that that is not the case. And right now the two, they will abstain from this. To which the Eradicator would go to inform them. That is highly ill-advised, because Superman, he put protocols in place to stop himself should he ever be under the effects of red kryptonite. And Deku, after hearing that, he does look at the Eradicator, which we're going to turn and actually going to bring up a green kryptonite gun. Now, Deku, he will going to blast the gun, as right now after it is fired, there is with a beam it does split and fly past both of them. Now, Deku breaks the gun, and the Eradicator, which does start to power up one of its fists, it does start to fly towards Kara. And right now, Deku and Kara, they do start to battle this thing. And we do actually have the Justice League, who right now, they are trying to make sure that these two don't really kill Superman. Now, when they get there, it's tough. Trying to find a way in, trying to understand what to do. And there actually is Batman, who will go to lift the welcome mat and show off a key. To which, after he does attempt to try and pick up, he finds out why Superman switched to a key. Now, there actually is everybody else there. They are kind of confused. And right now, yeah, that I'm going to comment. The thing probably weighs literally 1,000,000 tons. And right now there actually is Wonder Woman, who after she does hear about how Batman couldn't pick it up, she probably thinks to try it. If she could pick up the key, then no, but Kal-El said he made it to where only he himself could open it. But if that's the case, then now, Wonder Woman's not sure. Superman's power, she doesn't know where it caps out at. And right now, she wants to say she could lift it, but if she barely lifts it and drops it just an inch, what happens? I mean, the entire Arctic ground could split. I mean, the fact that it sits there already is astonishingly impressive. But what about her dropping the key? Now, right now they're trying to at least debate about this, figure out what to do. And there actually is inside with the Eradicator. And right now, the fortress, yeah. The battle happening inside of it, it is not good. Kal-El, he is still trying to sleep. And right now, with this battle with the Eradicator, it is trying to angle these two somewhere. It is trying to back them into a bit of a corner. However, right now with Duvil Zod, his tactical mind, it's hard. Now, we do actually have Deku who's throwing punches directly across the face of the Eradicator. And right now, Kara, she actually is trying to find a way to shut it down. Now, these two, yeah. After Deku does go to throw another punch at the Eradicator, it actually going to bring its hands up. And right now, after going to dodge the blow, it does going to send a fist directly into Deku's nose. Now, Deku does take the hit. And right now, the Eradicator, it does try to go on the offensive, trying to repeat Deku's own moves directly at him. Now, Deku, after he does get hit by the first two punches, he does going to dodge. And right now, the Eradicator, after Deku does going to bend down and grapple it, there is where it does decide to fly in another direction. Now, there is where Deku, he actually tries to grab onto the Eradicator. And right now, after the two do go flying into the armory, the Eradicator does try to angle Deku. Now, Deku is not too sure what this thing is trying to do. However, right now it does try to look up. He does get punched across the face. Now, there is where Deku, he actually does smash directly into something. And after he does go to fall down, he does land on the ground, as he actually does go to feel something land on his chest. Now, Deku does look up to see the Eradicator, which just dropped a blue kryptonite necklace on him. Now, Deku does try to get back up. And right now he feels what's going on. Now, Deku is confused. And right now the Eradicator, after going to grab the necklace, it will go to turn and put it back somewhere safe. Before expressing, after going to hold up a green rock, that Deku, he needs to be careful. Right now, he is vulnerable. Very. And with his exposure to blue kryptonite, he, temporarily, may be human. So, he must take every ounce of danger with much consideration. Now, the Eradicator will going to turn and express. It is going to try and expose Supergirl. He needs to use the kryptonite, and he will try to restrain her. They will expose her together. Now, Deku does not understand. But right now he just trying to go through the thoughts in his own head. I mean, he feels better, yes, but everything that happened, he remembers it crystal clearly. Now, there actually is where the plan it's enacted. And right now we do actually have about 10 or so minutes later, where people who were arguing on Wonder Woman just picking up the fucking key, or not basically splitting the Arctic into possibly a million pieces. Now, wherever the Fortress of Solitude opened, there was where both Deku and Kara they walked out. And everybody on the Justice League, they were on guard. However, Deku, he held up a piece of kryptonite and told everybody. They apologized for what happened. They didn't realize that they were exposed to it. And the Eradicator, it was going to start talking. Now, everybody there's still on guard. However, Batman, he does look at the way Deku, he's reacting. And right now, he's going to talk about how that's real kryptonite. Now, Batman immediately does ease up before telling Deku, stay the fuck out of Gotham. Now, Deku, yeah, he's still a bit on the fence. Meanwhile, there's actually him and Kara. These two, yeah, they're not going to say a word about any of this. No, 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 no. Mama Kento, they need to apologize about the wall, the barn, and probably about surprising her there. Now, these two, however, yeah, they're not going to speak about that. And these two, they do actually grow a bit closer because of this. They both didn't understand what to do. I mean, it just suddenly, this switch in their mind just happened, and they. Now, Kara, yeah. She was going to tell Deku exactly not to try and think about that as them being together. That she wouldn't get together with him even if he was the last Kryptonian male. Now, Deku would turn towards her and express he's sorry he got her caught up in all this. Before, he doesn't want to turn and fly. Now, Kara, she actually is still a bit impressed. I mean, her respect for him has been getting better. He's definitely the weirdest Zod she's ever met. But that's just the thing. He is the only Zod he's ever met. He doesn't understand. I mean, if he was around another Zod, maybe he could. He understands the history and everything. But he's not trying to take over Earth. I mean, yeah, the two, they were going to take over Earth. She gets that. She's not saying it was a bad idea, but it was. The thing is, Izuku could have done that on his own. I mean, he could have tried before. Their idea was to come here because of something to check on Clark. It's so weird, but it's also kind of embarrassing. Now, Kara, though, she has to keep it in the back of her mind. He wasn't a half-bad kisser, though. Now, there actually is Deku, who right now, he's stirring the things around in his mind. Different kryptonite exposure. And blue kryptonite. Being human. Maybe. Maybe being human would do him some good. Now, with that, we do actually have where Deku, he asked a question. And right now we do actually have at a school where it's actually a bit still earlier into the, let's say, first semester. And right now, they have an exchange student. Izuku, he's here. And a lot of people do see him. Deku's face looks sort of familiar. But then there's actually what he's wearing. He's wearing normal clothes. And he does have sunglasses on. Or not sunglasses. nerdy glasses on. There we go. Now, Deku, yeah. He will go to introduce himself under a false name, and at least go to explain quite a few things. And right now, after going to sit down in class, there actually is what they do to introduce another student. And Deku, yeah. He does watch as Kara is going to walk in. And Kara, after she does get a look directly at him, she's a bit annoyed. Of course. Of course, all the superheroes are in the same damn class. Isn't that just lovely? Now, the first day for these two, it does go a bit like this. Kara, yeah, she does start to be seen as a little bit more popular. I mean, she's a pretty girl, and from the way she's conducting herself, she's smart, intelligent, and I mean, hey, maybe she could be a cheerleader. I mean, I know Megan talked about it. Now, there actually is Deku, who, yeah, right now, he actually does present himself a bit strangely. He's a very strong guy. I mean, look at him. He looks like he works out. Maybe he could be on the football team. But then there's also his mind. I mean, when it comes to science and math, he knows so much. But when it comes to a lot of other stuff, he also does have a lot of knowledge. And that's what has surprised them. I mean, all the subjects in school, you name it, he's got them. And then there's actually where, whenever he takes off his glasses and he does his thing. Now, some people actually comment on it. It seems strange. And right now there actually is Deku who does sit there with Tim, Aqualad, and, well, Wally, I believe his name is. Because I actually think I forgot the name of Kid Flash. Anyways, now, all of them, they do currently sit there at lunch. And Deku, he will go to look down at the food and comment on it. He's fairly certain that prison has better nutrition. And right now, there actually is Tim, who will get a comment. He'd be correct. And, well, yeah. Food here, it's a bit hit or miss. But hey, maybe he'll actually start to learn a few things. And Deku would just look at him, asking to explain, which Aquila would try to express. Right now, he's going to be learning a bit about humans. Right now, he's going to learn about how to think his way out of a situation. Now, we do actually have one of the older students, who they heard there was some fresh meat here in school. And right now, there actually is where somebody, they do get a tap directly on a Deku. And Deku, after he does get a turn, he does stare at the person. As right now, they do get to ask him. They want his lunch money. They want him to hand over every dollar, every cent he has. And Deku would actually going to turn back, asking Aqualad, is the guy trying to rob him? To which Aqualad, he would just glare at Deku with his eyes wide, and try to not laugh. The guy here in school, he's just decided to try and rob a kryptonian. I mean, he's just gonna sit back, relax, and watch what happens here. Now, there actually is Deku, who will get a turn. And right now, after he does get to bring his hand up, the guy actually will get a grab at Deku's wrist, telling him about how he said he wanted every dollar he's got. Now, the guy does grab onto Deku's bracelet. And right now, Deku, he would go to grab with his hand directly at this guy's wrist, before going to begin to twist it and turn it. And right now, the guy, after he does start to somewhat recoil from the pain, Deku, he will get to somewhat let go of his hand. The guy actually going to step backwards, and right now there actually is Aqualad, who will get to turn and watch. Okay, so maybe this is actually a serious thing. Now, Aqualad will go to try and stand up. And right now the guy will go to rush as Deku, he does stand there. And right now after the guy, he does going to throw a wild right hook. Deku, he'll go to turn and go to bring his leg upwards. Him going to smack the guy directly in the nose with a flat palm, before kicking his right knee up into the guy's gut. Now, Deku, after he did that, he did gonna push the guy backwards. And the guy, after someone going to kill over and try and catch his breath, he did gonna look back up towards Deku. And Deku, he told him, if he's gonna try and fight him, I'm gonna bring his hands out and pull off his glasses, and gonna turn and set them down. Then he's not gonna try and, well, be nice. Now, there actually is somebody from Deku's school who they would try to intervene and break this up. However, the guy, he does go to rush towards Deku, and Deku, he does stand there. As we do actually have about 5 minutes later in the principal's office, where Deku, he does sit there as he does go look directly towards a wall. Him using X-ray vision, as right now he does go stare at the ambulance taking the guy away. Now, right now the principal will go to comment. As Deku, he does go to bring up a piece of tissue to his bloody nose. That right now, he does not blame Izuku for defending himself. However, the parents, they might want to take possible action for what happened. Yes, it was the bully's, well, pressure, and actually him putting his hands on Izuku. But Izuku, he did break the guy's arm. And while he does know how to defend himself, he will commend him for that, he still unfortunately is going to have to give Deku detention. Now, they're going to sit there. And right now, after he does go to try and validate what he did to the principal, yeah, don't get him wrong, he's on Deku's side, but this is just going to be procedure. Now, Deku does go back to class. And right now there actually is in class where Deku, he's passed a note. Him going to look down, open it up, and read it. As there actually is Tim who does have a question mark on a piece of paper. As Deku, he does look towards him and Tim does going to point at the nose. To which Deku, somebody's just going to turn his wrist and show off the bracelet. And right now Tim just stared at a blue stone. Now, Tim, he does look confused for a second, before he does realize what it is. And then he actually going to look back towards the class. As Deku, he was going to bring the piece of paper up and, well, just going to crush it. Now, Deku, he finds it to be intriguing. Learning to be human. Let's see if, well, this lesson, it might teach him something that he doesn't already know in the school. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.